Hey y'all, today's objective is solving equations with variables on both sides, which I'll abbreviate SEVBS, SEVBS. Solving equations with variables on both sides. So let's just review quickly about expressions. You touch twice, you distribute, you combine like terms. We also did that with multi-step equations, and it's the same thing, except now, before we can solve it, if you have variables on both sides of the equal sign, when it says both sides, it means of the equal sign, then we need to move our variables to one side and move the constants to the other. So I suggest you move your variables to the left side of the equal sign and you move your constants to the right side of the equal sign. So I'm going to show you a few examples and then you're going to practice on your own. Alright, example 1, solve x plus 4 equals 2x minus 6. This is variables on both sides because you notice that we have an x and a 2x on both sides of the equal sign. So the first thing is we touch twice, which I did right here, plus negative 6. Then I don't have any distributed, I don't have any combined like terms, because you can only combine like terms if they're already on the same side of the equal sign, which this one is not. So I want to move my variables to the left. In order to take this 2x and move it over, I have to inverse the operation. So this is a plus 2x, so I'm going to minus 2x away. And when I minus 2x, I get x minus 2x, so I touch twice, and that is a negative x, because that's like 1 minus 2 equals negative 1. So that's where my negative x comes from. I bring everything else down. Plus 4 equals negative 6. Now I have a two-step equation, so I want to move my constants to the right. This is a plus 4, so in order for me to move it over, I have to inverse minus 4, negative 6 minus 4, we touch that twice, and I get negative 10. Bring down my negative x equals negative 10. This is not okay. You cannot have a negative variable as your solution, so remember this is like a negative 1. We're going to divide both sides by a negative 1. And negative 1 divided by negative 1 is 1, so that's where I get my x from. And then negative 10 divided by negative 1 is 10. So that means my solution is 10. Because we're dealing with equations, we can check them. So let's come over here and check. I left blanks for my x's. So x is 10, so that means I'm going to do 10 and 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. 2 times 10 is 20 minus 6. 20 minus 6 is 14, and that equals 14. So this checks out. And that is example number 1. Okay. Example number 2. Let's do another one together before you try one on your own. 4x plus 2 times x plus 2 equals 5x minus 5. We've got a lot going on, so let's walk through our steps. The first step is touch twice, right there. Cha-ching, touch twice. The second step is the distributive property, which we have going on right here. So let's distribute. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. And then you bring everything else down. Bring everything else down just like you have it. Next step is to combine like terms. So I see that we can combine 4x plus 2x. Remember, combining like terms means when they're on the same side of the equal sign. 4x plus 2x is 6x. Bring everything else down. Now I have variables on both sides. I want to move my variables to the left. So to do that, I want to take away 5x, because this is plus 5x. So I want to minus 5x on both sides. 6x minus 5x leaves us with 1x. X plus 4 equals negative 5. We want to use the inverse of addition, which is subtraction. So we minus 4. And that leaves us with x, negative 5 plus negative 4 is negative 9. That's what I have as my solution, x equals negative 9, but let's check just to make sure. So I have over here the original equation, except where there were x's, 1, 2, 3, I have blanks. So I'm going to type in -9, -9, and -9. So let's see. 4 times -9 is -36, plus -9 plus 2 is -7. 5 times -9 is -45 minus 5. Let's see. Oops. -36 plus this is -14 equals -45 plus -5 is -50. Notice right there I touched that twice. I don't like this red marker. And then lastly, -36 plus -14 is a -50, and that equals a -50. So -9 is correct as the solution to this equation. Notice, touch twice, distribute, combine like terms, variables on both sides. All right, you try example 3. Solve 10x minus 22 equals 29 minus 7x. I want you to remember to touch twice, follow the rules, move your variables to the left by using the inverse, and move your constants to the right. Pause the video, and then when you're ready to hear my explanation, then replay it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to touch twice right here. And I don't have any distribute, I don't have any combine like terms, so I want to move my variables over here to the left. So I'm going to undo a plus with a minus, minus -7x, and 10 minus -7x is 17x, because I touched that twice. I have to move my minus 22 over here. Whoops, I forgot to touch twice at the very beginning. So I'm going to move this over, minus -22. And I touch this twice. 29 plus 22 is 51. 17x equals 51. I want to undo this multiplication with division. And it looks like x is going to equal 3. That's what I got. Not sure about you, so let's double check and make sure. We're going to substitute in 3. So 10 times 3 is 30. And 7 times 3 is 21. 30 minus 22 is 8. 29 minus 21 is 8. And that checks out. So my solution of x equals 3 is correct for this equation with variables on both sides of the equal sign. Uh-oh. Nothing got erased. Oh. So for this example, I've got no distributive property, but I wanted to show you about combining like terms. 4x minus 5x plus 9 equals 5x minus 9. So I've shown you touch twice and combine like terms. 4x plus -5x gives me a -x. And then I just brought everything else down. I touched twice right here also. I want to move my variables over to the left. So I'm going to move my 5x over by doing the inverse of addition. -x minus 5x, if you touch this twice, that becomes -6x plus 9 equals -9. I want to move my constant 9 over, because remember, constant is just a number. I want to move my constant over, so I'm going to subtract 9. -9 plus -9 is -18. And then lastly, I have -6x equals -18. So I'm going to divide both sides by -6. And it looks like x equals 3. Didn't we just have 3? Yeah. X equals 3. I'm not sure if that's correct, so that's why we check. I have over here set up the blanks where I'm going to put my 3 in. So 4 times 3 minus 5 times 3, 5 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, 5 times 3 is 15, plus 9 equals 15 minus 9. 15 minus 9 is 6, so let's look over here. 12 plus negative 15 is negative 3 plus 9 is 6. 6, check. So x equals 3 is my solution for example 4. All right, number 5, you try this one all on your own. 3 times 2x minus 4 equals 5 times x minus 2. This is a you try. I want you to try. Remember, I wrote you the steps over here. You try it, pause the video, and then when you're ready to hear my explanation, press play, and I'll show you how to solve it. First, we are going to touch twice and then distribute. This time we have distributing on both sides of the equals. 6x plus negative 12 equals 5x plus negative 10. I do not have any combined like terms, so I want to go into moving my variable over. This is plus 5x, so I'm going to minus 5x. 6x minus 5x leaves me with 1x, and then I bring everything else down, my plus negative 12, and then my negative 10. I now want to move my negative 12 over, so I'm going to have to minus negative 12. I bring down my x, and then I have negative 10 minus negative 12, which is going to be 2. I think that's my solution, but let's double check just to make sure. I go back into my original equation, 2 times 2 minus 4 equals 5, 2 minus 2. 2 times 2 is 4, minus 4 is 0, and then 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0. And 0 equals 0. So that means x equals 2 is the correct answer. I hope you got it correct. Make sure you come to class tomorrow with questions.